This year, the numbers look like this. At 27, you were earning $48,000. You had $8,200 saved. At 30, earning $58,000, $11,400 saved. At 34, earning $71,000, $9,800 saved. At 38, earning $84,000. You have $10,100. You read the table again. Then, once more, the coffee goes cold. $36,000 more per year than when you started. 3 raises, 3 promotions. 11 years of finally earning what I am worth. And the savings number has moved more than $2,000. You are closer to where you started than to anywhere you thought you'd be by now. You don't understand it. You just know that the table doesn't lie and that the table doesn't make sense. Not yet. I want you to stay with that feeling for a moment. Because by the time you finish reading this, you will stop seeing your raises as income growth and start seeing each one as a compounding opportunity with a 48-hour window that either gets captured or disappears permanently. That single shift will change how you receive every raise you ever get for the rest of your life. I want to introduce you to Daniel Reeves, not because his story is unusual, but because it probably isn't. Daniel is 38, project manager at a mid-sized tech firm in Columbus, Ohio. 3 promotions in 11 years, reliable, steady. The kind of person whose company gives real responsibility to quietly without fanfare. No gambling debt, no addiction, no catastrophic medical bill, no divorce settlement, no disaster. You can point to and say, there, that is where it went. This is important because the absence of a dramatic explanation is exactly what makes his story so hard to sit with. If something had gone wrong, you'd know where to look. Nothing went wrong. That is the problem. His spending at every stage of his life was entirely reasonable. That is what I need you to hear before anything else, because everything that follows depends on it. When Daniel's first raise came at 27, he was living in a $950 7-month apartment that technically worked, but had started to feel like something he was tolerating. The raise made a better place feel genuinely within reach for the first time. He moved. $1,350 7-month, natural light, a real kitchen. He had earned it, and he had genuinely earned it. When the second raise came at 30, he relocated cities for the new role. The apartment there was $1,650. He started eating out more because the new team ate out. The $17 lunch stopped requiring a private mental calculation. When the third raise arrived at 34, he leased a car that didn't embarrass him, joined a gym, took weekend trips, upgraded subscriptions that had become real parts of his routine. Every single one of those decisions, in the moment it was made, was the completely reasonable choice in front of him. I want you to remember that. Not a single one was reckless. Not a single one was something you would have done differently, standing in his shoes with that particular raise arriving that particular month. And yet, Daniel carries something underneath all of this that he doesn't say out loud. His father worked in manufacturing outside Dayton for 32 years. Steady work, decent income. Reached his early 60s with almost nothing. Not because something went wrong, but because the money had always just gone somewhere, to the apartment, to the car, to the vacation that felt reasonable at the time. Daniel has watched his father and felt, in the back of his chest, the specific dread of a man looking at his own future from what he hopes is a safe distance. The spreadsheet every January is his way of checking how close he is to repeating a story he never wanted to inherit. He has been checking the wrong thing. Here is where it gets darker, because what Daniel has been living, what you may have been living, isn't a personal failure. It isn't a sequence of bad decisions. It isn't even a sequence of individual decisions at all. It has a name. 3 weeks after that January morning, frustrated in a way he can't fully articulate, Daniel searches something he has never searched before. Why do I earn more but save the same? It feels faintly embarrassing to type he hits enter anyway. The term that comes back is lifestyle creep, also called lifestyle inflation. The definition fits in one sentence: the tendency for personal spending to rise automatically as income rises, consuming raises and bonuses before they can compound into wealth. Behavioral economists have documented it consistently across every income bracket. It is not a low income problem. It is not a high income problem. It is a human problem, predictable, repeatable, and almost entirely invisible from the inside. I call it the prosperity illusion, the feeling that each raise has genuinely improved your financial life, when what it has actually done is raise the floor you're standing on. You're not richer, you're just higher up on ground that now feels like the minimum. The raise arrives, the prosperity illusion activates. The lifestyle expands to fill the new space, not dramatically, not all at once, but steadily, the way water fills a container. The raise disappears. You open the spreadsheet in January and feel, once again, like something must be wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You have been running the most human program that exists. The mechanism driving it is called hedonic adaptation, your brain's documented tendency to normalize new circumstances within 60 to 90 days and return to a baseline level of satisfaction, regardless of how dramatically life has improved. The new apartment feels extraordinary for 3 months. Then it becomes normal. Then it becomes the minimum acceptable standard. The emotional gain evaporates. The financial cost remains permanently. This is not weakness. This is neurology doing exactly what it evolved to do, and it has been quietly running in the background of every financial decision you've made since your first raise arrived. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Now, I need you to sit with the math, not because numbers are the point, but because without the numbers, the prosperity illusion stays theoretical, and theoretical doesn't change behavior. Here is what Daniel's 3 rounds of lifestyle creep cost him, not in nominal dollars spent, but in compound wealth destroyed. Raise 1 at 27, a $10,000 7-year increase. The new apartment added $400 7 month. The car payment added $180 7 month. That $580 7 month, invested at 10% annual return over the 11 years since, would be worth $130,000 today. It is not worth $130,000 today. Raise 2 at 30, $13,000 send year, $800 7 month absorbed by the new city and the new lifestyle. Over 8 years at 10%, that is $139,000 in unrealized wealth. Raise 3 at 34, $13,000 severe, $600 seven month into the gym, the trips, the lease, the subscriptions, before a single savings transfer was ever set up. Over 4 years at 10%, another $35,000 gone. 3 raises, 3 activations of the prosperity illusion. Total cost in compounding wealth, approximately $304,000. Not in reckless spending. In reasonable, individually justifiable upgrades that simply arrived before the raise was secured. Now Daniel runs the number he has been avoiding. What if he had applied one rule to every raise since 27? Bank 50% of every income increase before lifestyle adjusts. 50% of raise 1 invested for 11 years, $96,000. 50% of raise 2 invested for 8 years, $76,000. 50% of raise 3 invested for 4 years, $33,000. Total, $205,000 sitting in an index fund today, on top of whatever he saved otherwise. He is 38. He has $10,100. He could have had $215,000. The shame tries to arrive when he sees that number, but it doesn't stay because he can see now with complete clarity that this was not a character failure. It was a missing instruction. One rule he was never given, applied across 3 raises, across 11 years. You cannot follow a rule you have never been taught. You cannot intercept a mechanism you have never been shown. His father couldn't either. 3 months after that January morning, Daniel gets the call from his manager. A $14,000 7-year raise, effective next month. In the past, this moment would have quietly triggered an apartment search within 30 days. A browse through car listings, a loosening, the category of affordable silently widening in his mind without him ever consciously choosing to widen it. That is the prosperity illusion, activating on schedule, running the same program it has always run. This time, Daniel opens his Notes app before he even walks out of his manager's office. New monthly take-home increase, $875, 50% rule, $437, 7-month automatic transfer to index fund, set up before lifestyle adjusts. $438, 7-month available for life, deliberate, chosen, not automatic. That evening, he tells his wife, Claire. She looks at the screen, so we still get to do something with the raise. $200 a month more on rent if you want, he says, but we choose it first. The transfer goes out before we feel richer. After that, whatever's left is ours guilt-free, no second guessing. She is quiet for a moment. Then, that is just a different order. It is only a different order, Daniel says. That is the whole thing. Here is what I want you to understand about the countermeasure. It is not deprivation. It is not discipline. It is not a budget, a spending freeze, or a sacrifice. It is sequencing. The raise gets captured before the prosperity illusion receives the news. The behavioral research on hedonic adaptation is unambiguous. Once a lifestyle upgrade is made, it normalizes within 90 days and becomes psychologically indistinguishable from a necessity. You cannot reverse it without experiencing it as a loss. The window to intercept the raise is the 48 hours after learning the new income. Not next month, not after you see how it feels, not when things settle down. The 48-hour window is everything. Before that window closes, you set up an automatic transfer, 50% of the raise moving to an index fund the day it arrives. After that, the system runs without you. It doesn't require willpower. It doesn't require discipline. It only requires being set up once during the hours when the money still feels new and the lifestyle hasn't yet been told it has permission to grow. One setup, one time, 48 hours. 18 months later, Daniel opens the spreadsheet. Same kitchen table, same ritual. The coffee is still going cold. The numbers look different. The automatic transfer has captured $437 7 month without friction, without willpower, without a single difficult moment of saying no to anything. Total invested in 18 months, $7,866, more than his savings grew in the previous 11 years combined. Not because he earned more, but because the raise was captured before the prosperity illusion could claim it. His life is not worse. He and Claire upgraded the apartment by $200 7 month, a real improvement chosen deliberately, sized consciously. They took one more trip this year than the year before. The lifestyle improvement is real, but it was chosen and sized rather than automatic and unlimited. That is the only difference. That is the entire difference. And he thinks about his father. His father didn't fail. His father ran the only program he'd ever been given. Steady income, lifestyle that quietly expanded to fill it. Nothing left over because nothing was intercepted first. 32 years of honest work, and the prosperity illusion took every raise he ever got. Daniel is the first person in his family to know the rule. He has already called his younger brother. If you have a raise coming, and you probably do, you now have a 48-hour window. Set up the transfer before you tell anyone, before you search for apartments. Before the lifestyle gets the news, 50% of the new income goes directly into an index fund, automatically the same day after that. The other half is yours, guilt-free. No second guessing, spend it on anything you want. The prosperity illusion will still activate. It always does. But this time, half the raise will already be somewhere it can't reach. The raises never built the wealth. The window did. More investing knowledge dropping soon. Don't miss the next one.